Good tidings, all you fine feathered individuals. We are back on League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. A rare pause in MSI action. 2 whole days these players get off before the next round. That's too much, Mark.
Hey, even us video gamers need some time to step away, relax, replenish our health, our vitality, get some rest in. That's what the boys are doing in
Play
Iceland.
Path of Exile, play WoW Classic,
Play some more solo queue, some more League of Legends. That's
Big
what
break.
it's all about. Hey, a little bit of a break, but the boys will be back on the riff for us soon enough.
Before we dive into the Rumble round 2 preview, the whole extravaganza, we got to look back at round 1, play-in stage, because this is the first year of this new format. So we got to judge bit by bit. How do we like this new format? For me, I think this was a resounding and roaring success. I want to see this format from every MSI henceforth.
I think it would have been an even bigger success if we had the Gigabyte Marines here, because I feel like what they could have provided in Group A, given how things were going and given how we were going to see, let alone, with the Marines in that group, how actually competitive Pentanet was with the Unicorns of Love and what happened there. That whole situation could have only been better. And yes, what we did see from this, as far as, remembering that, again, this is not what people were considering as the regular Rumble group stage part. This is the play-in stage, except you're throwing everybody in this time. Absolutely a big fan of that and what we've seen, what you've had to see and been proven from the major regions, even a team like Damwon, like RNG going 8-0, that type of situation. Sure. Even that. But to get what we've gotten from some of these storylines with some of the Pool 3, Pool 4 teams, absolutely, this is an improvement over the play-in stage.
So the big negative people are going to say is they're looking at that Group A, seeing RNG beat up on these teams for 8 games. But that's an anomaly, guys. You run this format again. Eventually, the VCS is going to come to these international events. I promise you, Vietnam will be here. And that's the only reason that group was so skewed. You're right. You throw the Marines in there, and Group A is just as exciting as the other 2 groups. And the other fantastic thing from this new format is, one, you're getting these bases with these huge fan bases, the TCL and the CB LOL. They had over 1 million viewers when they were playing against each other, the Wildcats and Pain Gaming. And you saw, even though, it was kind of the 4 teams or 6 teams we expected to get out, save for Pentanet, you still had competitive games. You had the Wildcats beating the Mad Lions. You had Pain coming oh so close to beating Mad Lions. DFM beat Cloud9 and almost beat Damwon. So there's one game here or there, one team fight where these groups could have been looking very different, and the minor regions, they're competing.
We get proven a lot of things when we get to these international events, and a lot of people get a reality check when you're talking about how strong teams are, realizing how hard it is to go undefeated at an event like this. And the only example we have is that 8-0 RNG. And again, a lot of that 8-0 is the situation that happened with Group A. So certainly could have seen a change there.
I think
things played out with the VCS.
The Marines were taking a win off RNG. I'm just saying, I could feel it.
It's more than possible. There was a chance there, given some of the mistakes we saw against Pentanet. You're not going to tell me that the Gigabyte Marines wouldn't have had at least a chance to pull off an upset there. And then the other thing that we have talked many times, specifically with North America as a region, when you look at these other minor regions, is that yes, North America can't, you should be expected to be able to beat them, but you cannot count out these minor regions. Well, we did see that absolutely for Cloud9, but not just Cloud9, not just North America. We saw that with Europe, with the LEC champions, with Mad Lions being tested in their group. You saw that with Damwon, right, being tested multiple times by a Pool 4 team in Detonation Focus Me, not just Cloud9. Absolutely, I think that this play-in stage and the level of performance from these minor region teams stepping up and delivering these games helped contribute to the quality.
And for these smaller regions going back home after this, they don't usually get the opportunity to play RNG 4 times, to play Mad Lions or Damwon twice, because I'm again calling this the play-in stage. They don't even get to that point. They're playing in the tier below. They never see the champions from these other regions.
Well, think about even just the best example right away is Detonation Focus Me. Think about previous years, previous times that they've been to an international event for Riot and not been able to get through to that next stage, but who they're going up against and the type of experience that they get, and they take it home. And sure, that's all positives. It's a major positive this time around to get the experience that you
usually
did
they're just
Cloud9.
playing the LCS.
You get Damwon as well in there this time around, the way you performed. And the thing that people miss is look at what Cloud9 talked about last year, not getting the opportunity to go to MSI, and how that played into how they weren't prepared, or weren't as well prepared to counteract some of the slips that they had in the summer split, or changes that they needed to make to become better. They felt they were held back by not getting that test internationally against some of these better squads, be exposed to these levels of thinking or strategies and skill. Now put that to Detonation Focus Me in a pool 4 seed, and what they were able to accomplish, what they can take back, and how they can be better the next time around internationally. And that is just a small slice of the pie that was the play-in stage this time around.
The other big thing is we've seen it in years past at Worlds, especially these teams, whether it's the third seed from EU or NA, they come through to the main event of Worlds and they're almost warmed up. They've played through a whole group stage. They've played a best of even. There weren't any best ofs in this round, but now you're talking about everybody in the top 6 is on the same level playing field of having all these games to warm up and make and learn from some mistakes.
And again, we were talking, I was focusing on Detonation Focus Me and the Cloud9 group. You can go anywhere you want. You got Pain Gaming. You're looking at them and what they were able to provide, the entertainment, let alone how close their games were and decisions. You're looking at the Istanbul Wildcats and the type of upsets they were pulling off, and how many games they were close in and whatnot. Absolutely, the level of competition here in this play-in stage and the quality of the games that we got overall. Massive improvements over previous play-in stages, regardless of whether you're talking about an MSI event or a Worlds event. Absolutely an improvement on Riot's end, and we're the ones that benefit here, sitting at home watching the games.
Yeah, it's just great across the board for everybody, because we've seen so many times a squad kind of come in cold, and they're just, the games are so important. Again, this is especially true at Worlds, where you're only playing 6 games in that group stage, where you come in cold, you lose your first 2 games, and you might be scooped right then and there. That's all it takes at Worlds. You have 2 bad games and you're cooked.
Yeah, and getting this type of experience, this type of exposure, again, not just, talking about the teams that you're playing, but in the situation, the arena, everything that's around it, the pressure, the attention. These are all type of things that when you're talking about even major regions, some teams might not be prepared, given what, the attention and type of stardom that other teams in your region can provide or demand. This is your opportunity to get accustomed to that level of attention and skill, because as we know, that's absolutely what Worlds is even more so. So this is really good, thinking about some of these organizations and teams that will take that next step, that want to take that next step at Worlds, and what they've been provided here as a learning experience.
Really happy with the changes. 2 thumbs up so far for what they've done to MSI. Want to see some implementation to the play-in stage and even main stage at Worlds. Hopefully they'll consider that with the success that they've had. It's only the first round, but so far things looking good. Now for round 2, we've got a whole different level to talk about and standard. We're now into the top 6, and this is your regular format MSI that we're accustomed to seeing the last couple of years. And we don't have the full schedule, but we've at least got day 1. And this is why the play-ins are great, because there's so many great games that you see. There's still some where you're like, okay, double minor regions, people aren't as interested. There aren't any of those games when you get to the top 6. Every game you're excited to watch fully.
Yeah, there's so many different storylines right now when we've condensed to this point in the tournament at the Rumble stage, and what positives we're going to see in this one. You don't have to look too far for some of these positives, looking at the day 1 schedule.
And we're talking right game 1.
Absolutely, with a banger right out of the gates, RNG Damwon. You can't have watched what's gone on in the play-in stage and said that this is not the number one that you wanted to watch to kick things off for the Rumble stage. Excited to see that. And it does not, the hits don't just stop there, my man. We got some extra spicy games coming up later. You got Cloud9 sweating bullets facing off against RNG on day 1. And not just that, they got to deal with NA greater than EU type of trash talk going around, flying around, making sure that that stays true, because they got a date with the Mad Lions to end things up.
Yeah, so starting with that first game, and again, these numbers underneath the teams that you're seeing are the odds on who's going to win. So the lower the number, the minus means they're the favorite, and the bigger the number in the minus, the bigger favorite they are. So Damwon actually favorites against RNG. I think after the group stage, a lot of people have switched to RNG being the favorites to win the whole tournament. But we said coming into this, you can't take that much from RNG regardless of what they do in Group A.
I think the problem here for a lot of people is they're overhyping, overbuying into this RNG. And that's not meant to say that what their skill is and what they performed and what they've shown us so far doesn't warrant buying in and having that level of commitment or belief, in the squad. Sure, but what we do know as well about RNG is sometimes it's not as good as it looks. And what we've seen from a Damwon squad is that sometimes it's a little bit too loose on the Damwon boys and how they're playing in the draft. I think we're going to see a course correction to both degrees when we get that showdown between RNG and Damwon. I think you're going to see a Damwon absolutely sharpen themselves up, realizing that, hey, this is the LPL showdown. We got to make sure that we're ready to take down the LPL champion. And at the same time, you're looking at RNG, and I think that they're going to be a little bit worse. And I want to hesitate there because I don't want people overreacting on the worst part. A little bit worse than 8-0 at this point in the
winning games
tournament
in 18 minutes.
Yeah, I want people to be very careful about that because, again, that 8-0, and as much as we want to all be happy and celebrate what happened in the play-in stage and celebrate Pentanet making it through to here, let's be very clear that the 8-0 in Group A is very different than 8-0 in anything else.
At any other tournament ever, really, what you're talking about. But both of them going to be looking to prove that they are the two overwhelming favorites. They're down to a 1A and 1B at the very least, as opposed to Damwon being 1, RNG being 2. The other matches, RNG also gets Cloud9, and we've seen this time and time again. NA on day 1, you want to give them softballs. Give them easy things to ease in. I know they've already played round 1, but round 2 is a different beast, and they're not easing into things at all. RNG followed up by Mad Lions. That smells like it could be a quick 0-2 start.
That one's going to be a very interesting start to see how things go and see how things play out. You know what we're going to absolutely need? We're going to need some of that Knuckle Sandwich branded Fudge Lee Sin in the top side. I don't know if we're going to need Lee Sin specifically, but we're going to need that level of performance, how he excelled more so than you would have expected from Fudge, because the task ahead of him...
he pops off versus Xiaohu.
The test that he's going to have to face against multiple different top laners at this stage in the event absolutely is a major increase. And one of those major increases in the deadly category is Xiaohu and what he can provide and what the different looks are going to be from this RNG team. That's my expectation heading into it. That's where we're going to see something wonky. And again, sounding like a broken record for Cloud9 fans. It's all going to come down to, is Perks going to be up to the task in the solo lane?
So the bigger picture of this whole thing is obviously Damwon and RNG are the favorites, as we said. If you had to lean one way, Mark, now that we got top 6, who's taking the dub? Who's taking the crown? MSI.
As we talked again, I've just seen a little bit too much of some bad drafts, some sloppy performances overall from the squad, from Damwon than I was expecting them to be in or what I want them to be as far as power. Not going to side with them. I'm going to stick right now with RNG.
Okay.
Understanding, yes, the downfalls, and as much as I've just said that I think that they are, to a lot of people, looking a little bit stronger than they actually are right now with the 8-0 record and how they perform. But I'm still going to go with them over Damwon just on day 1 here.
Is there anything but an RNG Damwon final that you could see happening here? Can Mad, Cloud9, maybe in PSG get an upset in semis?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big one to look at is going to be how, after we get out of this Rumble stage, right, what the seedings are going to be and who's going to have to be in what side. That's going to be the big deciding maker, right, in the semifinal. But I don't think that either one of Cloud9 or Mad Lions and I hesitate with Cloud9 maybe a little bit more than Mad Lions, but I think they still are close enough. You throw them two in together, that they would be able to at least contend in a best of situation with these RNGs, with the damn one. As far as a favorite, absolutely, that's going to be. You're asking for way too much at that point if you're asking for favorite. But if you're asking for them to be competitive, to have a chance to, take one away, make things interesting, there's no reason that the quality of these teams can't match up.
Yeah, and I think so. Mad Lions and Cloud9 getting past semis. Whoever's finishing first is going to choose who they get in semis. Thank God they implemented that rule since last year. But you've got to assume RNG or Damwon are going to finish top of the group, which means Mad and Cloud9 are probably facing, RNG and Damwon respectively in the semifinals, assuming things play out how they will. LPL and LCK not going to choose each other if they have the option. And then, a best of against either of them. I'm hard pressed to see it happening, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, and I think the thing that is very valuable to acknowledge is that what we did see through the play-in stage and what we will see develop through this Rumble stage as well is the meta for this event and what will be taken, the champions and how they're utilized. It was very different throughout the course of that play-in stage, and things were, different from what we had been seeing during these regional playoffs, of course, with the jump in the patches. This is going to be something to keep track of as well into this Rumble stage, because I don't think it was quite nearly as defined as we have seen at previous international events right away. As
players are still figuring it out.
Right. It takes 1-2 days, and then you've got the established meta. It's still being defined and what is strong, who's stronger than who, and a couple of these secret picks that teams want to be putting through absolutely still exists, and I think that will have something to play in with this Rumble stage, and of course that's going to have its effect when we get to the semifinals.
And that's the beauty of the play-in stage as well, is because it is that first round. RNG 8-0, they didn't have to show any of their, special picks or play styles. Even Damwon.
Hey, we saw Xiaohu rise. Write that one down. Right.
Xiaohu lane swap Zhao Bai subs in. That's the secret strat.
And he was a mid laner. I forgot.
Even Damwon, if they didn't look great at times against Infinity, you think Damwon were fully firing on all cylinders, bringing out the spicy picks to get through play-ins? Come on, guys.
Guys, it takes 5 minutes to make sure you're on Twitter and making sure that yes, On and Showmaker, Canyon, and the crew are still making those solo bolos happen all the time in solo queue. They're still the same guys. Just need to get Coma to break out the belt to group them back together here. Get refocused on task.
I think the best quote Showmaker has had so far at this tournament was, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but basically, I think RNG, people have them as the favorites. That's fair, but we'll take the trophy. We'll have the trophy. They can be the favorites. Okay.
And that's what we need from G2 East. What we've seen from the way that Damwon have developed these attitudes and how they want to be confident. That's what it's all about. And look, to be talking like that, to get that type of attitude going, that's the type of Showmaker that I like to see. That's when I know they're really popping off. So for Damwon to make that type of statement, gonna need Showmaker to back it up against RNG.
They're the champs. They can talk as much smack as they want right now. Again, we're jumping outside of MSI a bit because this juicy LEC offseason, it's too much, Mark. We got to keep coming back to it. We've slightly touched on the Whippo jungle situation. Now, Adam from K-Corp joining Fnatic looks to be official, and not only is it going to be official, but Fnatic's also paying a $240K buyout to get him. That is the biggest buyout we've seen from an academy squad to get a rookie onto your roster.
And this is definitely somewhere where obviously knowing the situation and what you're buying and what you're getting for that money, sure, we can talk lots of things about Adam and why we think that this is worth it for a prospect of this level. But this is just, to me, more so an indication and a validation on what we have seen from the EU Masters and the development of many players in multiple different roles the past couple of years, and what we've been able to see from them and the expected impact of adding them to your roster right away has been immediate. And what we've seen from them and how they've been able to step up and do it, Adam is someone that what you look at and what you see absolutely expect him to have an immediate impact in the LEC for Fnatic, especially adding him in at this cost though. This shows exactly that these EU Masters organizations, they also know what they're dealing with. They know what they're having. They know what a commodity they've got and what they need to be selling.
In terms of community reception, I think Adam should be happy if Whippo does go into jungle, because if things don't go well on this Fnatic roster, a lot of that blame is going to be going over to Whippo in the jungle, whether it's warranted or not.
Yeah, and I think even with anything going on and with just in general with Selfmade appearing to leave from Fnatic, I think immediately a lot of people would have a difference in expectations, even with the Fnatic branding. And that's something to say quite strongly with how people felt about the potential and you know, the overt skill that someone like Selfmade could provide. And this type of change, this type of signal, as much as we want to hype up Adam and talk about what type of, you know, yes, worth for this type of money for someone that is still a prospect situation, it's still going to be, at least from most expectations, at least a year to 2 years to get a full potential of skill coming through in that side. And you still got to work on the rest of this roster. And for the Fnatic expectation to be right up there at the very best, it's going to be hard to keep up that expectation and go through these type of changes and these type of growth.
I just hope people are ready and willing, fans and teams alike, give these guys actual chances to grow and develop, because, you know, guys like Comp and Shigenda, you get a split, half a split, and that's your audition, and then your career's done. Well, I'm not saying that their careers are done. I think they'll both likely get other chances, but to be immediately demoted from the LEC after that, like, give these guys a year, 2 years on different rosters to actually be able to showcase what they can do.
And this is absolutely somewhere that I think that has value and that has something that you need to be providing, you know, the time, right, to find the value, to let this value shine through from some of these players. Absolutely, some short leashes coming through, and unfortunately, it's short leashes on these EU Masters, on these young players, and that's where you start to have some confusion on what you're buying into. You need to know what you're getting into when you're making these type of things, a commitment player alongside from the organization and the player as well. My understanding is that's exactly what we're going to be seeing with Fnatic, that this should be a commitment to it. But that is a reminder to the Fnatic fans that, well, it's been a while since you've had to understand and stomach something like that, knowing that this is the payoff. This is what we're working towards in the future with a prospect, and being patient is going to be something that's going to be unfamiliar given the success and the pedigree that we have seen from Fnatic almost over the entirety of their history in the LEC.
The golden example is, of course, Caps. That's the absolute peak that you want to be able to reach. But you look at 2017 and everyone said, yeah, the potential is there, but there's a lot that can be improved upon. And then, you know, over the next 2 years, he quickly grew to become one of the best mid laners in the world. So, guys, have patience with these young players.
Yeah, and even the biggest fans, right? It can be people against it in the first place. I wasn't sold on baby Caps, the baby faker, everything going around at the time. You knew that, yes, of course, the potential's still there. Yes, he'll be good. I didn't think it was warranted at that time. I didn't think it was ready type of situation. But as you said, we quickly saw that development. We saw the investment. We saw the patience come through.
Give them a chance to grow on these rosters. But that is it today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we will catch you on that flippity flip.